All right, so it is time. So today I'm talking about graded comics and specifically manga. So manga is one of the most popular things that you could get into. It has especially Shonen Jump. It has like one of the highest IPs. I believe it's about 35 billion. Japanese manga, especially Shonen Jump, has been around since 1968. And comic books, I think, are very undervalued because extremely low population. Plus, there's this nostalgic factor. And if you buy the right thing, so if you're buying Batman, Superman, you know, X-Men, Wolverine, Spider-Man, things like that are going to make a lot of money. But I think for manga, this is a very untapped space that we're just starting to see things that are graded. So example is the very popular anime One Punch Man. I got a 9.8. And then I have other things. Also, this isn't pumping and dumping. Like, I'm actually planning to hold these for a very long time, and I'm planning on picking up more. But here's some examples, like Dragon Ball Z 9.4. And I have a Dragon Ball, another very, very popular anime, very, very nostalgic. And then I have some other comics from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So the things that you want to look at is better to buy graded, and it's better to really look at the auctions because most of the buy it nows are listed for a very, very high price. So if you want to buy graded, one of the top companies is CGC. CGC, you send them in for grading. They are probably the best company and most well known when it comes to grading comic books. Then there are a few other companies behind that, but it basically CGC is basically the PSA of graded comics. So the next company is CBCS. Not as well known, but it's still a great company. And those are the main two that you want to look at. There are a few other companies. Also, let me tell you what CGC means. So Certified Guarantee Company. And then also you have CBCS, which is Comic Book Certification Service. These two are the main ones. Obviously, CGC has gotten into trading cards as well, but they're mostly known for comic books. The other grading companies are PGX and EGS. I don't know much about them. I'm assuming from what I've seen, they're basically the SGC and HGA of comic, like of I guess comics. So you could kind of dabble with these, but only if they're really cheap. But I think you need to do more research. The top one is CGC, CBCS. Also, what you want to do, you want to look at some of the first anime and some of the mangas for the anime. Some of the first ones and the highest grade. So 9.8 is gonna be typically the highest grade that you're gonna find. Then 9.6, 9.4, 9.2, and you really want to be looking mostly at the 9.8s and 9.6s. If you can't afford those, obviously go for a lower grade. So not only that is it's untapped because no one really thought about manga as an investment because it just hasn't been around as long, and it's a different cultural thing that actually really started to spread in the early 2000s. And one of the first ones was Dragon Ball Z. So people didn't really understand, and it missed the whole grading craze that happened in mid to late 90s that not only happened with trading cards, but also happened with comics. So that's something else that people need to be aware of. And most likely, you're going to see not only in the next couple years, because they've already gone up. There's certain comic books for Dragon Ball Z, like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball number ones, that would have sold for 60, 70, 80, maybe $100, now are selling for around $300 or more. So things are slowly starting to go up. And I think people are nostalgic for this. They're nostalgic for, Dragon Ball Z again, or they're nostalgic for another manga, but also is what's going on. People are seeing what's going on with other comics like Spider-Man, Batman, and some of these aren't like the first ever ones coming out. Some of this stuff is stuff that was produced in the 90s and early 2000s. So I think people will get more as they get more educated. I think it's a great opportunity because you're getting in early. Obviously, before you buy anything, put in at least 30 hours, 30 to 60 hours of research. But I think you can make good money short term and long term. The other option is you could buy specific comics and send them in to get graded, but that's more risky. Some of the manga you should be looking out for, obviously Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. I have One Punch Man, but that's more of a gamble. It's a very popular anime. But Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, other ones that are more well known, but some of the early ones is Akira is one. If you can, I haven't found as much on Pokemon, but Pokemon is super huge. Obviously that. If you find anything from Shonen Jump, the first Shonen Jump book, or the first series or the first sets, and you find that graded, obviously pick that up. And then also you want to go on CGC's website to check to see if there are any other, how many they are graded and what's the pop report, because that's going to help you determine what the value could be in the future and how rare it is. Obviously, if you have 400 or 500 of the same comic books, let's say a 9.8, which is one of the highest grades, then you're less likely, you're going to see a lot more flood the market when the price goes up. And you're going to need more demand to meet the supply, versus if there's only 3 or 4, then it's a different story. So that's something, is basic supply and demand. What is the supply and what is the demand? So when the demand outweighs the supply, prices go up. When the supply outweighs demand, prices go down. So that's the other thing that you have to be cognizant of. And yeah, do a lot of research and start going into the best places to buy them as well is eBay. Honestly, eBay is going to be your best bet. It is the largest marketplace. There are a few other auction houses. You may find some things on Amazon, Facebook, or Instagram, but your best bet is going to be eBay. There may be every once in a while, there's a website called HiBid. I just believe it's HIBIID.com, where you can find certain things on auction. But it is still very, very early, and it's something that's going to mature within the next 2 to 5 years. So it's something to watch out for. And if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you have any ideas or what you want to hear me talk about or dive into from NFT, because I will be covering certain things in the next few months, from NFTs to comic book cards to possibly even watches as investments. I'm doing all alternative investments. So yeah, just contact me, let me know.